So the reason why I am wearing Where My Money Resides dress today and sitting by my desk is because I want to share something a bit personal with you guys. Hey guys, it's me Chazzy Wood, your favorite booktuber, YouTube bread maker and all-round YouTube show pony. How is everyone doing today? Are you guys looking after yourselves, loved ones and staying safe? I hope you are. To all my returning viewers, I'm doing something ever so slightly different today, but I hope you guys do stay tuned in. And to all the new guys, don't forget to show me the love by pressing the subscribe button. Also, don't forget to hit the like button just so YouTube knows I exist. I know that there's a lot of uncertainty all over the world right now, and there's a lot of people who are struggling with their finances due to their jobs basically changing overnight because of everything that's currently happening. And personally, I feel as if off the back of this slight uncertainty and insecurity, there's a lot of content creators that have come onto the YouTube platform to basically show you how to get rich quick, kind of like, show you what's in their Vanguard portfolio, show you all the stocks that they're picking, just doing absolutely anything and everything to A, get your attention, B, get the absolutely amazing ad revenue, but C, I think that a lot of them are leading you down the wrong path. So I guess in light of all these various factors, I just wanted to sit down today and do a slightly serious video for me and show you one of my pension pots and the amount that's currently in there. So just to cover a couple of things, A, I'm not doing this to be all swaggy and boasty. B, this shows a portfolio that's been able to grow over 10 years. And this is no longer my main pension pot. The money's now in there. I haven't put a single penny in there over the last 3 years because I've got my new pot with my new employer. And number 3, this is basically edutainment. I don't want you to take this seriously because I do want to take it seriously, but I guess what I'm trying to say is I'm not a financial advisor, so it is always worthwhile to basically do your research. But although I'm not a financial advisor, it shows how saving regularly over a long period of time does end up being something. And for anyone who doesn't believe in pension pots and investing, I'm just going to say I hope that once you see this, it does help change your mind. So I just want to set off by just giving you guys a tiny bit of a background about how pensions work here in the UK, because I think that the framework actually does benefit you as an individual in the long run. Everyone is auto-enrolled into a pension pot because previously when people had to choose to go into a pension, they'd always decide against it. And once your employer was legally mandated to make sure that you had access to a pension pot and you're automatically enrolled, the onus was then on you not to go ahead and basically participate in the scheme. So currently the minimum for auto enrollment is 8% of your total salary, but there are minimum thresholds, and I would recommend that if you're in a position to do this, please auto enroll and go ahead with your pension, because in the long run it will help you out. So the current minimum contribution, as I said, is 8% of your qualifying earnings, of which at least 3% must come from your employer. What that in effect means, this is very basic maths, what that means is you're contributing 5% towards your pension pot and your employer contributes another 8%. So just to put this into numerical terms, the way I look at a pension pot is, for every £8 that you put into your pot, essentially with the tax treatment that it receives, in effect that £8 becomes £10. So automatically you're just like about 20% better off. Okay, so I'm just gonna go onto my screen. I think I'm recording this bit. So as you guys can see, currently in my pot today, as of the 17th of March, so this is very current data, my fund value, which is absurd, is £62,544.55, and that is the current value of the fund. and the total that was paid in between myself and my employer over the 10-year period I worked for them was £30,020.39. I will do the USD conversion just so you guys can see that. Okay, so one of the things I want to show you is basically how this amount came to grow, and it basically shows you why there's so many people who are being like so insane over the markets at present. So here you guys will be able to see that as of the 30th of June last year, 2020, this fund, or my pension pot, was worth £50,660.05, which means that the estimated income at age 65 based on today's current figures will be this will basically pay me £2,360 a year. So between 2019 to the 30th of June 2020, my fund was £51,579, and it came down to £50,660. That meant that it went down by £1,000. Around about that time, we obviously all know what happened. And if you're with me, after that kind of like it's worked its way through the market, I've now ended up in the position whereby from nowhere it's gone up by 10 grand. But this is how markets work. Once again, just a caveat, guys, this is going to be growing for at least 30 years. So this is what it's done, and it's doubled itself within no time. So we're now going to go into how my portfolio is split. So you guys will see that I've actually got a global equities portfolio, which is also passive. So instead of just only benefiting from the activity of companies that are based on the London Stock Exchange, I'm actually exposed to some American shares, I'm exposed to some Japanese shares, some shares also from emerging countries and economies. So it's like, if you want to secure the bag, start by just putting a tiny bit away every single month automatically without even realizing it. So I'm going to show you the true magic of this. So if we go back to my screen, you guys will see that I've basically listed the balance by contribution. So if we have a look at the screen, you guys will see that I was only supposed to put in £536. That's based on what the government was saying at the time and the rules, meaning that I would only have 1.7k in my contribution. However, this is the magic. However, my employer's core contributions would have been £15,000 just free money. So think about it, over the years you've got your salary. This is an amazing way of boosting how much your overall compensation is without you needing to work any harder, do longer hours. So in this instance, they basically put in 15k, and that's now worth 33k. So if had I done what was required of me, I would have a pot worth just under 35k, which is okay, it's not bad. But because I went the extra mile, and I basically also took advantage of the additional contributions that I was allowed to put in, that my employer was willing to match me with, I ended up putting in an additional £7,000, 7,000 Great British pounds over the 10 years, which is now worth £14,000. And from that, what did my employer have to do? It basically just had to match my pension. So if you're thinking that you don't want to have a pension, this is how it works. You put in a tiny bit and you just match it a bit more, and your employer puts in a whole whack. And also, just to say, I haven't traded a single stock here. All I've done is I've just passively joined the market and partaken in what's happening. I've not sold any crypto, I've not bought any crypto, I've not sold any single stocks and shares, I've not lost any FX, I haven't done anything. And the magic, the absolute magic about my fund and my employer, or my ex-employer, is this was all free, so I don't pay any management fees. It's at 0%. So here you'll see when I started putting money in 07, I was putting in, which is hilarious, I was putting in £68 a month. And then over the time, it went up to £75, £78, and then it leapt up to £157 because the law changed. But as you can see, I was always squirreling a little bit, and the amount I was squirreling is off a nothing salary. So I'm just looking at all of this. Actually, the screen doesn't matter, but I started off by literally £68, and then by the time I left in 2017, I was putting in, or in total, my contributions were £475. Like, that is insane, yeah. I also just want to show you guys what my salary looked like over that period. Just in case you think that you can't squeeze out that little bit, I'll show you that, because I wasn't making a lot of money. I was not. I hated how low my salary was. And now, a few years after leaving, I'm like, I'm glad I did that. Okay, so this for me is like the most sobering bit, just seeing how much money I was on when I started. So, quick little caveat, when I started this job, I was a student. So the wages were low, and then obviously, as you guys can tell, I literally joined the job market, even as a student, right during the last economic crash. And I wonder how that shaped me. I still love spending money and stuff, so that's interesting. As you guys can see, my salary was £13,600. Like, this makes me so happy because I just see how far I've come. It's not very often you kind of have like this retrospective, like, let's see how far I've come. But I went from 13,600 to 15,000 to 17,000. And whilst I was on this really rubbish money, because I worked in a bank, albeit it wasn't a call center in South Wales, a lot of people were hating on bankers, just calling up and just abusing us, because obviously bankers caused the last economic crash. And when I look at this, it's like, I wasn't one of those. I also just want to caveat that whilst I was earning this, like, I was the person who had like side hustles. I was earning bonuses. I was also getting like tax-free vouchers as part of various incentive schemes that they had. What else? And then as I moved around, I was also getting like additional territorial allowances because I moved to places which were relatively expensive to live in. And I always had like a little business or two, you know, on the side, just making some extra money. And in 2015, I was on 23,000. So this was my last salary. And that literally, like, that is all the money I was making. And to think that that money and what I put in ended up becoming this much. I guess what I'm really saying is you don't need a lot of money to end up with something. I think that this is the best way to go. So if you're not a gambler, definitely try this and let me know how you get on. So if you guys are already investing, definitely thumbs up this sign. And I guess I don't want to be one of those people who comes back and does like a little monthly update, because that's just, I don't know, I get a bit bored by that. My huge milestones with my pension pots is when I hit 30, and I hit 30 on my last day working in the organization I worked in. 40 came and went, I wasn't bothered. And then when it started getting to 50, I started getting like really excited. And it stayed at 50k for like how long it did, like 2 years. And at one point, I'm sure it even dipped ever so slightly, and I just kind of forgot about it. And then the other day, I was like, oh, let me just have a look at my overall investments periodically. And I saw it hit £60,000. And I was like, oh, damn. How the hell do you grow money from 50 to 60 in like less than a year? Just showed you the markets did it. So rather than going the rich keep getting richer, stop putting your money aside into assets. Stop consuming today. Like, this is the adult version of the marshmallow test. If you love your crab legs, basically replace crab legs with marshmallows. And rather than watching your kid basically sit there in pain over whether they can have a piece of chocolate or the marshmallow, basically put that money into your pension pot. Guys, a quick disclaimer for those who need to know this. Yes, I am single. Yes, I've never been married. Yes, I've never lived with a partner long term. Yes, I don't have any kids. So this is why I've been able to be consistent, and there wasn't really any break in my salary. So I just think that if you do have kids, it might be slightly different, but still the sacrifice is worthwhile making, as I hope I'm making a case for. Anyway, this was slightly different. I will do these from time to time. I guess one thing I'll also do is I'm going to show you guys a trajectory as to how it's grown and how long it's taken to double my money going forward. I'm going to do that as another video because this is going to be too long as is. And I guess as you now have, as I've shared this with you, I'll show you how long it takes to go from 60 to 70 when I get to 70. I'm not really bothered about 80, 90, but when it gets to 100, I will check in again, just to let you know how that's gone down and how long it's taken. But as Albert Einstein said, compound interest is the eighth wonder of the world. Those who understand it earn it, and those who don't pay it. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed, guys, and see you next time. P.S. Don't forget to like, subscribe and comment down below, and let me know if you like this type of content. So if there's anything else that you'd like to see, don't forget to comment down below. Love you loads, guys. Mwah. mwah, and mwah. Yeah, and you're in the forehead. Mwah. Love you.
Because you don't know who you're gonna meet.